2, 3. Right now, it's X-rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Not a great start.
Whatever. I am your host.
You shall pay for your hubris.
Infidel! Blasphemer!
That's probably true, but you know what? Who's Apocalypse to talk about something like that? Really though. And with me, of course, is as always, is my co-host.
Forcing life through those decaying veins of his.
You stole Andre's spot, so you stole his sound effect.
Oh boy.
I know, right? Well, he of course he simply is David Cutler.
We have like the same puns for our names typically because you're Dav and I'm Dave. So I thought I was letting you have Tyler Dav Spring by not being Tyler Dave Spring, but I simply am as an apocalypse line in this episode.
It's a good one too.
Frigging awesome. Here's my apocalypse. I have him in hand.
Oh, very slick. Where's my apocalypse? Here's my apocalypse. It's much smaller than yours.
Oh, that's awesome. What's that from? That's a HeroClix.
Yes, my HeroClix behind me here.
Evil? I am not malevolent. I simply am.
Exactly. Oh, look who's here.
This guy.
Forcing life through those decaying veins of his.
His as well.
I was expecting there's one towards the end where they say something like, I can't remember. There's some line that I'm sure Davin's going to choose this one for me, but maybe I missed it. Maybe it was used earlier.
What is this place?
Nice. No, it was something else.
You got that weird background noise happening again.
Oh my god, the fucking audio fucking police are here every 5 minutes.
Don't you, Dave?
Yeah, it's like sounds like an air conditioner.
It sounds like an air conditioner.
Is it better now?
No, not really.
It's fine.
That's
Every
better.
time he just cuts me off because he hears a hum in the background and I have to stop everything and any thought.
Quite distracting.
To you, perhaps.
I don't want to edit this for 5 hours because you want to have a nice air-conditioned room.
It's not my air conditioning. Is that better?
Yeah,
Yep.
Actually, it is.
Okay, turn on echo cancellation. The thing you told me to turn off last time.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I fixed it last time. You got squirrely business going on there. Anyway, I don't know why I clicked that banner.
I quit.
Here are
I'm
your
not doing
hosts.
this anymore.
Devin and Andre. Dave gets to keep your spot for the entirety of the show.
Good.
In the
He's
top
welcome
rank.
to it. I look forward to you yelling at him about his audio every 5 minutes.
I don't have to. His is picture. Well, actually, when we first got here, I said he didn't.
See,
have
it
any
starts. This is how it
audio.
starts, Dave. This is how it starts.
But in fact, that was my fault,
Mhm.
and not Dave's fault at all.
Let's talk about the times that Davin has blamed things on me that was actually his fault. We could do the whole podcast for that.
Can't think of any.
Uh-huh.
We are here to review Season 4, Episode 18, Beyond Good and Evil, Part 1, The End of Time. Even though it's the beginning of the four-parter, it's the end
In the
of
end,
time.
in the end of a season, like
end of
that
a season.
continues on into more of a show later.
Written by Steve Kuden and directed by the great Larry H.
Interesting episode. A lot of.
Yep.
I like that Robin Williams makes a cameo appearance.
What?
You know, I was gonna ask, who do we have to blame for that guy? Is it Jim Carrey or Robin?
I think it's
Yeah.
Robin Williams. It's right around the Aladdin Genie time. It had to be.
It's fucking obnoxious. It's just the worst.
I mean, it's like they took Mojo and ramped him up. Like they put Mojo on ephedrine and then sent him out into the world.
And Mojo's already on ephedrine, so that's crazy.
Yes, good episode. I'm sorry if I missed the catch up. How's everybody doing?
We didn't actually.
Well, let's catch up on old times.
Dave's got some exciting news from what I see. Also, I love that he's got his like little sleep mask on, like we're keeping him up, like he was about ready to go to bed, and we didn't.
I have a massive migraine. I didn't want to cancel on you guys again. So.
Oh, well, it's okay, man. We don't mind.
No, it's
You
all
get
right.
migraines
You know,
normally?
I'd rather deal with your cancellations than Andre's constant delays.
Oh yeah.
Well, I got bad news for you next week, buddy.
More delays.
Well, it's another one of those board meetings. This time it's in Amherst, but I know we have the Bane conversation, so I might call in sick.
All right, call in sick.
Well, I don't want to, but I rarely miss them, and I'm allowed to miss so many. So,
Okay. Well, you know.
all right, well, we'll chat. But anyway, yes. How are you, Dave? Big exciting news. Tell us about your exciting Marvel news.
What they doing up there?
What they doing up there?
I'm not real good at self promotion, but yeah, my stuff has been like announced. So currently, the Cosmo series 6-parter is on Marvel Unlimited. You can read that there if you subscribe to that particular app. And then in August, the same writer, Jason Lowe, a good friend of mine, is joining me to do the Iron Man annual, this year's Iron Man annual, which ties into the Contest of Chaos event, which is an Agatha Harkness Scarlet Witch thing. And in this issue, Storm and Iron Man fight for 22 pages.
That must have been fun to draw.
Yeah, well, I'm still working on it now, but
that's awesome. Jason,
no, you won't tell me how it ends, but it better end one way.
Well, it is an Iron Man comic, so I'm gonna take a stab at how it ends.
I don't care.
All right. Yeah, Jason Lowe was on my show before, as well as Dave, and great conversation. Also, I don't know if Dave, I don't know if you listened, but Adam Gorham, whose name I spelled incorrectly, thanks to you for pointing out, was on the show, and he credited you basically for getting him involved with the success of comics that he's got to. So
why?
Cool. You like it brought him out to these comic writing things or drawing things that he never really was involved with until you sort of welcomed him into them.
Doesn't sound real.
We
used to
I don't know what
Adam
he has
Gorham,
to gain by
I think,
lying.
is like Adam Gorham is like one of the unsung talents of the comics industry right now. I think he's like he's definitely my top 10 artists, and I never see his name coming up enough, but he's freaking awesome. And
the Star Wars stuff looks incredible. The Darth Vader book.
Oh yeah. His Godzilla was next level, like so good.
That was actually really cool. He's talking about how he like not reconnected, like they were disconnected, but like he connected with his daughters through it. They would watch all the Godzilla movies together, preparing for that comic. So.
I guess I don't really remember. Like maybe it was Drink and Draw or something, but
it was something like that. Yeah, you brought him out to one of those, or you.
But we used to have like a art blog called Spitballin' with myself and Michael Walsh and a few other people that went on.
Yes, that was it. I think that was it.
Yes, and we brought Adam on, and for the first like year, I was like, "This Adam guy, man, I don't know if he's going to make it." But he started getting like exponentially better, and I was just like, "What the hell is he doing?" But he started to embrace
Robert
like
Johnson thing, man.
He like he started doing like form second, like he started working just on his line quality, and somehow through that he became one of the best around. He's awesome. Also a great guy. So
yeah, no, it's very cool conversation. That's awesome about the book, man. I'm super excited to. You don't know if that's connected to, because I got the Kindle Unlimited, and a lot of Marvel books are on that. But is the Guardians thing just through?
It's just Marvel Unlimited, okay. Yeah. And I believe that no, not on Kindle. Just on Comixology, Marvel's like cutting back its like contributions or whatever.
But that's still part of it, I think, right?
Marvel Unlimited is like there's exclusives that are like what are those Toon comics? The web comics, Toon something.
Oh yeah. I know what you're saying.
They scroll down and they keep scrolling down.
Yeah.
So Cosmo is like that. There's lots of exclusives like that. But in addition, every Marvel comic comes there after 4 months.
Oh, that's cool.
If you don't mind like running behind everything, you can have it all for one low price.
What is the cost of?
I don't know.
Also, I love the work that Jason Lowe's been sharing a bunch of stuff from the Cosmo book on his Facebook. And how much fun was it to draw the cosmic key from He-Man?
Yeah, that's funny because that could have been my suggestion, but that was Jason's suggestion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that going, oh, I recognize that.
Yeah. It was cool watching Guardians because of the Cosmo comic. I think I drew every character who appears in the Guardians movie who's an established Marvel person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I drew High Evolutionary in a Moon Girl comic last year. So I drew every single character. That's the first time ever in a Marvel movie that I was like, yeah, I drew all these guys.
Was Adam Warlock in the book?
Oh, fuck. You ruined me.
I'm sorry. I like Adam Warlock. I was hoping to see more Adam Warlock.
Of course, he could be dead. I don't know what he's doing in the comics.
He destroys him with the opening volley.
I'm sorry. Like the first one is like the one he didn't do. It's like, oh, God,
I was going to say Lila is a comics character, and I've never drawn Lila.
Yes.
But
yeah, no, I know you posted that you enjoyed that movie so much, and we had a long talk about it on the show, but how much we both loved it. So,
oh yeah, it was. Just
I
phenomenal.
never cried so much in a movie. I don't think. Just like, and it's like CGI. They're not real animals, but you're just like you're sitting there. Just every time you saw them, and they're so sad, and you knew it was not going to end well.
I never did a full on ball, but I teared up like 6-7 times.
Oh yeah,
every time I had to do this.
Yeah. I think the scene where he escapes and you get all that is where I probably actually sobbed a little bit. But I thought the dude that I can never pronounce his name, so I'm going to try. But the guy that played the High Evolutionary was fantastic. That character was amazing, and he did such a good job. It was like he's one of my favorite cinema villains, I think, of all time. He's just so.
He's It's funny because I said this immediately coming out of the movie before I saw other people say it, so it is my thought. But I've seen it said elsewhere since that he's like one of my favorite straight villains. Like there's the kind of villain that you love to hate and the kind that you just hate. There's like Thanos and Loki, and then there's at Marvel, I guess, like Ronin and High Evolutionary. They've got some. They mostly suck, but
most of them, they always have to give you some reason. I don't know. I guess like the guy from Ant-Man was pretty irredeemable. Who turned into MODOK. But they do throw in some villains that are kind of like
they're trying to redeem MODOK though.
They even did redeem him later too, didn't they? Well, it's not. You know what?
Quantumania?
No, it's on Disney Plus now, so I'll see it soon.
It is.
I thought it was fine. I feel like it was a lot of flash and not a lot of substance, personally. But I liked aspects of it. I don't understand why Kang needs to be the villain of that movie. I think they should have just made it like the Psycho Man or somebody else that is active in the microverse. Anyway, big news about Rom. That's exciting. Marvel's getting Rom back.
Yeah.
Also, how excited are you about Clone High, Dave? Now that it's back, have you watched any of it?
I haven't, and I don't know. I'm iffy.
You're iffy? Yeah. That was a standby when Dave and I lived together. We used to talk about and watch that show fairly frequently.
Yeah.
I love when you say that as an adult. It sounds like we were gay together. When Dave and I lived together. When we were roommates, I guess would be the better way to say it.
It's funny that's like almost as long ago as no, it's longer ago.
It would have been what, 2005,
6?
It would have been like 15, 16 years ago. No, when that. Yeah, I'm 37, 15. So it would have been. I was like
37.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's like 18 years ago. So basically, like the amount of way back in the 1980s, and the characters are all 16, 17. Mm-hmm. It's been more time since then than Clone High's inception. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like that's right, but that's right.
It was I think we're going to see a lot more of it just because all the people that watched it when they were kids and had no money are now the older adults that have money. So now they're targeting everything at us and our nostalgia. Yeah. So that's why it's just all these things keep coming back. Like we get, I guess Twin Peaks and all this stuff. Like it just as long as people have nostalgia for it and memories, they're going to redo it. They're going to bring it back. But that one was a great show and deserved more than one season. So. All right. You want to get into it?
You're smoking raisins.
I smoked all the drugs: reefer, weed, grass. One time I even smoked pot. Yeah, it's a great show. I quote JFK from that show all the time. Some of us are trying to do Catherine the Great, or should I say Catherine the So-So. All right, so season 4, this the 4-part season ender, and what I believe the creators of this show believe would be the end of the entire show. Beyond Good and Evil Part 1, in which we get some up to more time jumping, traveling chicanery. Featuring our favorite time travels. I love when a show establishes one guy has a thing, and then if there's a separate guy with that thing, eventually those two guys have to meet due to that thing. And this would be Cable and Bishop through time travel. But Davan, you might as well play the thing before you interrupt me.
No, I wanted to interrupt you, but fine.
I know you enjoy it. So.
Previously on X-Men.
Is that it? Is there no actual stuff?
Oh, whoops. Looks like I deleted it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we don't even have one.
Well, honestly, the last episode was a more like Little Christmas. So it had nothing to do with this at all. But if you actually played the one they played in the episode, it had a lot of pertinent information about this, showing Apocalypse, and his whole dealie. Man, I love his voice so much.
Yeah.
Great. John Colicos.
So good. All right, so we begin with a group of people running through in Egypt in the year 3,999. I love
39.99.
No, I want to say 3,999. Is that not also accurate?
Well, it's a little clunky.
Kind of. I love how every time they go to the future, it's got to be a cool number. It can't just be like 3427. It's got to be like Marvel 2099. Also, Cable's future is 2050, which is in 25 years from now, or 20-ish years from now. Things are going to go real sideways for the human race.
So what's he doing in the year 3,999?
We're not there. We're
Cable's
Cable.
In the year 39.99.
We see a group
Bishop's from a little bit in the future. Cable's from way.
Oh, for some reason my brain heard Cable. I hear you.
So we see Cable and his crew, which are referenced in the wiki I'm looking at as the Clan Chosen, but not referred to that in the episode. So there's this crazy pyramid thing that they're coming in to attack. We see the group of the Clan Chosen, including himself, his son Tyler, who was growing up. He was only a kid last time we saw him, if I'm correct. His memory had to go back and save him, or stop him from being wiped out through time at the end of one of the seasons. Was it 3? Or somewhere through there. And the rest
name more 90s than Cable. Tyler.
Yeah. All like even the designs of a lot of these characters are incredibly 90s. Like Bishop, Cable, Tyler, just padded shoulder pads and metal armbands everywhere. Pouches as far as the eye can see.
Not to completely piss off any Tylers out there, but it's such like a boy's name that it's weird to see a man named Tyler.
For me, it's the same with Cody. Like seeing an adult Cody is very strange. At some point in the future, there's going to be a President Cody, and it's going to be the strangest sounding thing I've ever heard in my entire life. President Cody, he's got a Monster Energy drink tattoo.
President Cody Tylerson.
Tylerson. His dad was Tyler.
Son of Tyler.
Son of Tyler. So we see the whole group of this Clan Chosen. They got Garrison Kane in there, my namesake for this episode. Robot guy, woman that kind of looks like Rogue. They all have names. I'm going to remember them right now. There's, Tyler Summers, Bulk, Garrison Kane, Don Silk, and Hope are all part of this group.
Not Hope Summers, though. Don't be
different Hope.
There.
So they've done a bunch of research to the point that Apocalypse is rejuvenating in his little chamber in there, and that they're gonna run in and kill him. So
we leave victorious, or we don't leave at all.
Yeah, Tyler's got pretty radicalized over the years, it seems. I love the line that comics walk between freedom fighters and terrorists and like all this sort of stuff. It's like, a lot of the ideology these guys are spouting sounds rather fanatical.
Yeah, you really got to believe that Apocalypse is like the absolute most evil thing in the universe to not be like questioning these guys' motivations.
Yeah, just a hair. Like maybe turn things around.
Backsides. Apocalypse is vulnerable now, but he's not stupid.
Why did he say backsides? Why didn't he just say backs like
or butts? But so they
Watch
come
your
across.
ass.
Yeah, it'd be great if like they just slipped that one time. Watch your ass. So they find some hieroglyphs. That like he got some inside information. We don't know from where that's like a layout of this fortress. It says there should be a pathway to Apocalypse's private chamber somewhere in there. Oh, I'm gonna change.
I hate snakes.
Little Indiana Jones reference for you there, which I'm assuming that was the reason for that. So he used this little computer, which seems to be omniscient, to tell him what part of the glyphs on the door will open it and let them get to Apocalypse. It finds one that is the snake one, which means the line about hating snakes. He enters Apocalypse's chamber, but then the wall collapses between him and the rest of his crew, forcing him to face Apocalypse alone. Apocalypse reveals that this was all a ruse in order to lure him there, finally get him out of his hair. During the fight, Cable kind of indicates that no matter what happens to him, he will someone will stop Apocalypse. And Apocalypse too, apparently.
Defile my sacred chamber!
I say that
Evil? I am not malevolent. I simply am.
you cut off blasphemer. Blasphemer!
that's pretty great too.
Blasphemer.
I am given pause to wonder.
Like at no
Given
point in
pause to
Apocalypse's
wonder.
life of thousands and thousands of years. So at this point, at the age of 3099, he was there in ancient Egypt, which is how long ago from today? 1,000 years?
Like 3,000 years ago.
So 3,000 years ago, add on another 2,000 years. So he's been alive for 5,000 years. And at no point has he ever stopped to wonder, maybe every time I kill these people and more keep coming, they're just going to keep coming. Like he's never had an existential crisis realizing that he even references Sisyphus pushing the boulder uphill for eternity. Like he's never once.
Like tortured Sisyphus, I cannot win. Ever. What a cruel joke.
But what is the definition of winning? He already rules the world and can apparently not be killed. And he's just about to wipe out Cable and all his minions anyway. Sure, in a few decades, maybe another group will come. But it sounds like he's not having a lot of troubles. Like what is
He
winning?
doesn't want to be opposed.
Yeah,
It's like no opposition.
One thing I really like is like one of the first times I was on here, I said that I find, well, as a kid, I found the X-Men's villains exhausting because they're just unkillable and they keep coming back and coming back. I love that Apocalypse is so old and so above everybody else that to him, the X-Men, the Babylonians, Cable and his crew, they might as well all be the same people. And he's just fucking tired of it. Like, this just keeps happening. Like I was in bed and he's here and tomorrow will be someone else. I kill this guy. There's more guys.
He's got the little cucumber things on his eyes. Like he's like got the cream on his face. He's just reading a book. The alarms go off. Fucking Cable again. Jesus Christ. Can't I have a moment's peace? I do love how they the sound on this with like all the mechanics of him moving and stuff is pretty cool. The voice obviously is awesome, but like I love the stature of him. Like they show him grow to the size where he's like, double the size of a person and then even slightly bigger, which is pretty cool. But during the battle, he takes Cable's little computer, which allows him to time travel. And basically after this revelation, leaves Cable, decides not even to bother killing him, and uses the portal to disappear.
I've got your answer.
So
what bothers me is that he didn't finish me off.
It's a good line right here.
Like he didn't need to.
Yeah. He didn't need to. So then he tells the group that, he stole his time travel device and he seemed to didn't even care about him anymore once he got that. Then we cut back to a flashback sequence to give us some context of what's going on with Bishop, which is when we saw him last preventing the death of young Charles Xavier from what was the name of that guy?
Weird flashbacks and cuts. Trevor Fitzroy.
Yes, that's right, Fitzroy. They did the black and white did the show with the flashback, which I know David loves
the black and
flashbacks.
white. I don't like flashbacks.
You famously do. You reference it every single time that's in any of the movies in your movie podcast.
I love flashbacks. Yeah.
You don't like flashbacks. You don't like flash forwards. You don't like dream sequences. Anything that breaks the narrative.
Give me a story. Just give
me it. It's in a flashback in a dream sequence. You must hate David Lynch movies.
Not my favorite.
Not a fan. So yeah. So then we see that when Bishop was about to get back to the future, pardon the reference, before he can enter through the gate, something interrupts him and pulls him back through. Forge isn't sure what it is. Everything appears to be working correctly, but this is in 2055 AD, which is Bishop's future. So we got a few years to keep this together. Daniel Blanchard says, remember those old people that were terrified you as a child? This apocalypse not a ridiculously strong and terrifying version of that. Do you guys have funny old person scare you as a child story? Do you have a memorable old person terrifying you as a child story?
I don't think I was scared of old people.
Well, when I was a kid, like really young kid, there's this woman that was in our community that we all knew as not being quite right, for lack of a better term. And we were at the movie store. My brother was looking at a VHS tape and I was standing beside him, and she was in the store looking at something, and she grabbed my brother, and I was probably like 4 and he would have been like 9 or 10. And she grabbed him and was like, don't you be looking at those movies. The devil's in those movies, and was screaming at him. And I was terrified, like terrified.
You're looking at those movies?
Blasphemer! So Bishop doesn't quite get through. He gets pulled back through into the time rift. Old Forge is there trying to help. Shard wants to try to save him, but Bishop gets pulled back in through the portal. He gets dropped off into a weird. It almost looks like the Rainbow Bridge to Asgard, but it's or Rainbow Road for the Mario Kart aficionados out there.
Who is it?
Pardon?
I haven't seen that movie yet, Mario. I got to see that.
Well, I mean, if you played the video game, is what I'm referencing more in the movie. But the movie was fun. Did you like the movie, Dave? Did you see Mario?
No, I didn't see that.
It was all right. It is what it is. Yeah, for what it was good. I liked it. So then we meet this ridiculous character that is very much obviously a ripoff of, or like rather his personality. Is this character in the comics? Does he exist? I don't think he does.
I meant to look that up.
This character does, but perhaps not under this name. That'll come up in a later part in this 4-parter.
Oh, okay. Oh,
is he? Bender so few do. Well, that's because you're the only other one here. That's crazy.
That's crazy. It's like a mixture of the Genie, Mojo, and Max Headroom, all kind of in one like really annoying character. That is sort of an impish like person named Bender who is he looks kind of like Pip the Troll actually, but like more human. And yeah, he's this loopy guy that's trapped in this other world with Bishop. And basically tells Bishop that they're stuck on this rift. All time travels pass through this rift, but something happened and Bishop got dumped into this nexus in the core of it all, and there's no real escape, and he's trapped there basically. So this Bender, but he sees other there's mirrors that show him timelines that's going on. He sees the X-Men and he tries to break the window, thinking it'll help him get through by shooting it, but that doesn't do anything. So when we come back to the present, we see finally after their attempt at wedding in the end of season 1, we finally get the actual wedding of Scott and Jean Grey, which appears to be legitimate this time, unless somebody else is a clone or something else is awry.
See, I think the one thing they missed in this episode was it should have been Morph again. You should have been to see at the end.
Except it's after it's like the morning after. Like we assume that they
exactly. You just see him sneaking off.
He wakes up
later.
in bed beside Morph. He's like, hey.
Bender has Morph's sense of humor.
That's true. It could be. Could Bender be Morph? Is that what is Bender Morph?
No.
Okay.
No,
Jesus,
Bender's not Morph.
The joys of marriage are the heaven on earth, life's paradise, the soul's
Morph is-
quiet sinews of concord, earthly immortality. John Ford, 1630.
I'm going to say what year that quote was from.
I'm going to save this for a next point later. I got to write this down before I forget. All right. Put it in the back of my. I'll put it in the back of my health card that arrived today.
Is your X point that John Ford was probably talking about fucking?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that it?
He definitely was.
He definitely was. Finally, we get to fuck John Ford. Yeah, like that's the quote.
John Ford, 1630.
Anyway, Wolverine looks miserable, of course, because the love of his life has seemingly now been wed off to Cyclops. Although he does seem to be taking it a little better than he did the last time. He's not in the danger room, slicing up effigies of Cyclops left and right, or running off to Canada or anything else.
Yeah, I guess that is.
Andy Blanchard asks, "Who would be worse to be stuck with bothering you for eternity, Bender or Apocalypse?"
I would rather be stuck
Bender,
with
for
Apocalypse because
sure.
at least he can tell me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, with Apocalypse, I'd get right in line. So I mean,
and
I wouldn't
also
have any
he'd
problems.
probably have some great stories about like everything that's happened in human history. So you could check in on that.
He might even give you some sweet powers and give you a horse.
Yeah, that's true. You get some wings. So Professor X has a pretty stylish little ascot going on with his little outfit here. We see Wolverine come up and threaten Cyclops that if he ever hurts Jean, that he'll hurt him. Basically, cuts himself a piece of cake with his claws, and we get a nice little Scott. So, I don't know. Is Professor X's speech at the thing seems a little weird to me. He's like, "You were all children when you came to me. Now look at you, adults, like getting married,
great adults. Isn't that great? Yeah.
Well, Gambit just soaked the window.
Gambit really I always forget that he's like Jimmy from Seinfeld. He always speaks in a third person. It's such an odd way to speak. So
That's
Rogue
how they
catches
speak in Louisiana.
Is it?
Everyone.
Oh, Gambit, what they doing up there? Rogue catches the bouquet during the wedding, which of course she maligns what good it's going to do her.
Was it Beast or Jubilee last time?
I think it was Beast.
Jean and Cyclops' last wedding.
So as they're driving off in their
that
car,
one doesn't count though.
Yeah,
the wedding didn't count
because the priest was Morph. So during the as they're driving off, they get hit with some kind of a beam which knocks them both out, and the car comes to a stop. The X-Men go off to check on, see how they are, and then they're ambushed by the Nasty Boys. We get the return of the Nasty Boys, not the.
I shut the defensive perimeter down for the wedding.
I think the Nasty Boys have had more appearances in the cartoon than issues of comics, and I mean that literally. I think
that is likely very true.
Because they were just used because like they were current in the comics, like they were Sinister's minions like that minute basically when they were working on Sinister's first appearance.
Yes. So we see Gorgeous George, Vertigo, Hairbag, which is still one of the most ridiculous names ever. Ruckus
when George says his name, it sounds like Airbag.
Airbag. That is true. Yes, he does. So they descend upon the guest. Vertigo is knocking everybody out with her vertigo-inducing powers. Gorgeous George is they're basically there to kidnap Jean and Scott.
It's the powers of gorgeousness.
The X-Men try to fight them off, but are unsuccessful. And the Nasty Boys escape with the entire car that Jean and Scott are in. Gorgeous George opens a portal that they throw Jean through, but then they're told to leave Scott behind. That Jean was all they came for. So they leave him behind on the car, and then they go through a portal themselves to escape. The X-Men go off to try to find out what's going on. They find Scott, who obviously is upset and wants to find Jean. Wolverine can't find the scent of the Nasty Boys because they didn't go anywhere. They disappeared in a portal. But, of course, they don't know that. But they know they can't follow them. So they go back to the X-Mansion. Also, when the X-Men go into action, he's like, Jubilee, you get rid of everybody.
Jubilee, get rid of the guests.
She's like, okay, I'll try.
Something, I guess. Mutants are attacking the mansion. Run! That'll work.
It's so funny that like the X-Men are always like labeling that for peaceful coexistence between mutants and humans, and almost every single time they try to do anything together, a mutant comes in and fucks everything up. Like every single time. Anytime there's any like if there's a wedding, if there's a grand opening of a city hall, if there's an election, if there's anything that mutants and humans have to go at, a giant mutant is going to show up and just fuck everything up. Every single time.
Are the worst.
So Professor X and Jubilee are back trying to find Jean with Cerebro, but then they're interrupted by the appearance of Mr. Sinister, who actually has a cool little sequence where he starts shooting beams into Professor X's chair and like breaking pieces of it off, like breaking it apart right in the scene, which is kind of cool. It shows it dump him out of the car.
Show up out of nowhere and then disappear.
No. It's a funny reason.
You and I shall take Cyclops back and check headquarters. The rest of you, see if you can find some trace of the Nasty Boys.
Nice.
Stop saying their name.
I'm hurt.
They end up watching the WWF tag team group called the Nasty Boys. Like they just beat those guys up, like Brian Knobbs and the other guy. They just like
they smell those guys, no problem.
They're on the way to the ring, and then like all of a sudden the X-Men just show up and beat the holy hell out of them. This will teach you to kidnap Jean Grey. So Bishop's watching
the WWF Nasty Boys. Their power was that they stunk really bad and rubbed you into their armpit stink.
That was one of the things they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they actually did. It's called like playing a character, but maybe they were actually dirty people. Who knows? So Bishop's watching all this happen from us. Hey, Lebowski. Lebowski. You're my buddy. He likes to make his presence known whenever I have something going on, don't you? So, we see Bishop, who is trapped in the netherworld there, who is told by Bender that he can never escape. He's stuck there forever. Bender then Joe jumps over the side into like the abyss, and Bishop's wondering what to do. We go back to Forge's lab in 2055 AD, in which we see Shard decide to go after Bishop through the portal. They don't know where they can't find him, but the last ping they see is at that point that's going on in the present day in the X-Men. So Shard says, send me back there, and Forge is not sure she should because of what happened to Bishop, but she goes anyway. So after Sinister knocked out Jubilee and took Professor X, Shard interrupts him from escaping with Professor X. Every time mutants shoot him with their beams, like Jubilee does, and so does Shard, it causes damage, but then immediately fixes itself, showing that he is immune to powers of other mutants. But then the rest of the X-Men come in to help as well, stopping Sinister from getting away with Professor X.
This more my kind of time travel.
All right, the cavalry's here.
I smell something sinister.
Of course. So the Cyclops shows up and shoots Sinister, and as we know, Sinister's powers working in Cyclops. The Nasty Boys appear too to help out Sinister, but they actually are only there. They said that their deal was to get Jean Grey, and the Cyclops' deal was supposed to get Professor X, and they basically banned him and leave through a portal. Which is funny.
This boy better lay off the ice cream sandwiches.
So then he managed to escape through his own portal, but they managed to grab Professor X from him before he can do so. Rogue takes him.
Mrs. Summers is just another broken blossom floating through the winds of time.
This is a great line.
Sure, bud.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Okay, a little dramatic, are we? So we see Jean Grey stuck in some kind of a tube and some kind of
what the hell is this?
some kind of a tube. To quote a Simpsons. It looks like she's got like cellophane over her, like bubble wrap. It's really funny. So there's all these empty tubes beside her, but she's trapped in one. She wonders if she's dead, if she's trapped, what's happening. Sinister appears through the portal. She asks why he took her, and then the real mastermind says, because I told him to.
What is this place? Why have you kidnapped me?
Because I told him to!
Apocalypse sounds so different there in that one line. The laugh is right, but because I told him to is like an octave higher.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like, and he always seems sort of dispassionate. It seems like he's really passionate. You know what I mean? Like the one thing that's interesting about him is he never seems like, it's always very cold, analytical, and he seems like he actually has some emotion in the game with this, which is very strange for that.
I think he sounded like that here too.
Fair enough. It's a little more.
Yeah, a little more regular.
But...
That's the end of the episode. To be continued.
To be continued 3 times. Yeah.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
Decide. We got to decide.
Dave, guess first.
Dave, yeah, guess first.
This is a tricky one because it's not much of a story. It's like it's like part 1 of a 4-part thing, and it doesn't stand on its own. I like the Apocalypse parts like a lot. I think Apocalypse has like the best lines in this show, and most of them are from this episode. There's some really good ones early on. There was one like I can't remember. I'll just fuck it up. But
rhyme, the rocks upon the eternal shore crash upon me and be broken.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
It is fucking awesome.
I can't remember. He's disguised as some scientist or possibly a Friends of Humanity guy, and then he reveals himself as Apocalypse, and the guy's like, "You're a mutant." Mutant. I'm as far above mutants as they are above you.
Yeah.
Fucking
That's
epic.
a great one.
I know. That was the one. That was the one when he made. That was when he was. They were saying they were curing people on the island, and Rogue went there to get cured, but he was actually recruiting mutants to turn them into his horsemen.
Here it was called.
Yeah.
I'd say Apocalypse is my favorite straight up villain.
He's pretty great.
This is my favorite Apocalypse look. I think the purple breaks it out from all the blue that he usually has in the
got
comics.
some cool stuff, but I don't think I have an Apocalypse. I love this design. I'd like to get one of those cool ones.
I don't know. I'm going to give it a 7.
Sad. 7.
Pretty low. The lowest score I've given, I think. Maybe not.
I gave a
No, you were not high on Iceman.
Right. I think I gave that one a 4.
I gave Morlock Little Christmas a 3. So
what?
It was a bad episode. It's bad.
It's awful.
So
it's so awful that I'm curious what happened behind the scenes, because there's something they're not saying about why Wolverine won't help Leech. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Something got edited out by the censor, but that show is full of like Christmas fun. I don't know. Cyclops singing off key.
La 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 la.
Nothing ever happened. Like nothing happens. Hardly anything happens. The whole plot is like, oh, it's so.
Gambit in the kitchen is hilarious.
Yeah, the fight.
Jean Grey's so out of character. She's just screaming at him like a banshee for no reason. Like
she really
get the hell out of my kitchen.
She cares about Christmas dinner. They've got conflicting ideas.
You do not warm up Gambit's food. Gambit does not warm up. He's not a microwave dinner.
Gâteau glacé.
Gâteau glacé. What was the other thing that he made that sounded really good? I looked up what it was. They wanted to make it someday. It wasn't the glace. It wasn't the dough glacé. It was something else.
The Christmas episode has like a special place in my heart because Fox would air it every year after it first aired, like up until like 2002, basically. So that was the episode that I watched constantly. Plus, now that I have Disney Plus, I watch it every Christmas. So, but I like nice. It. It's awful. I mean, it's a bad episode, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, we enjoyed talking about it. It's not like it's like, but objectively, it's bad. Like it's really bad.
You gotta rate this one, Andre.
I gotta rate this one.
Yeah, just sad.
I liked all the Apocalypse stuff. I always liked the time travel stuff. Bishop and Kay were kind of cool to see again. Obviously, it's the first start of something bigger. I mean, just merely because a lot of the coolest characters in the show have popped up. Like the coolest villains to me are Sinister and Apocalypse. I mean, Magneto, which I think who I think shows up in this as well eventually. So, like, I don't know. It's cool. I'm giving 8. I think it's pretty good.
I'd probably give the whole thing an 8.
Yeah.
If I was rating the whole 4-parter, I'd say an 8.
But I don't know what's coming because I don't remember these episodes because these were before I didn't have cable growing up. I just watched them at my grandmother's house. So I caught scattered episodes of reruns on YTV, but I've never seen this far into it. So this is all new to me. So I don't know what's to come, but I like it. It's cool.
It's gonna be a big whenever cable shows up, it's or even Bishop for that matter. The episode usually.
Although we didn't get the cable, we didn't get the harmonica this time.
The Bishop, no. Well,
oh yeah, Bishop's
too far in the future for harmonicas.
Yeah, I guess.
Ry Cooder soundtrack.
Daniel X-Goon.
Sure,
Daniel
what
wants
do you
to know,
want?
can listeners, give it a rating?
Give us a rating, Daniel.
Definitely. We're all a family here, like the X-Men. We work together. All right.
Except
So
on
Uncanny
Christmas
X
dinner.
points. Not too classy.
I will be. I'll play the Gambit part, and Dave will be the Lebowski, and David will be the Jean Grey part. Just my cream glacé. There's some kind of pie he was making. It sounded cool. It was like a Cajun thing. Damn, I can't remember what it was. So I looked it up and it actually looked pretty interesting. All right.
Uncanny X points. I'll go first. Why not? Sisyphus. Of course we know. Sisyphus pushes the rock up the hill just for it to tumble back down. That's his life. And that's the Sisyphus myth that you know it gets referenced most often. But where the Stoics picked up upon the Sisyphus myth is that it's more about accepting your circumstances and making the best of it.
Yeah, I too am dabbling in Stoicism, so I
oh man, it's the best.
It seems to me the most logical philosophical way to look at life to me.
Yeah,
if you have
and
to
it gets a
choose
bad
one.
rap.
I don't know why it gets a bad rap. It's great.
Because
I mean, I do
it's
doubt.
more
I do.
virtuous to be like emotionally chaotic. Than
I do sometimes put a
emotionally
foot in
controlled.
nihilism, but I feel as though nihilism and stoicism kind of work hand in hand a little bit.
No, nihilism is stoicism for losers.
It's almost like, it's not even like the idea that nothing matters. So I don't really believe that. I think but I believe we make things matter. We make matter. We make things matter. What matters is what we make.
What matters is what we say matters.
Exactly.
That's mattering.
Do you remember that line from Angel?
Oh, is it?
No,
the quote Angel.
The line from Angel is if nothing we do matters, and the only thing that matters is what we do.
That's a good line.
That's my life philosophy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Daniel gives it a 7. Daniel wants a shout out when we finally see Mystique again in this show. He
said I read something that said Mystique wasn't in the show anymore past the episode, the one we did with Greg and Creed there, but he claims that there is one, so we haven't seen her yet, unless she's Bender. Is she Bender?
Bender? No, I don't think she's Bender.
Oh, that would make sense if she's.
Oh wait, no.
Somebody else is Bender.
I do think that she's in this 4-parter.
Oh, maybe she is.
That's what's happening here. I do believe.
Perhaps so. Maybe it was that episode aired in season 5 because it was all wonky before, and that's what the thing was. X point for me. Morph was at the wedding. If you look at when they pass through the crowd, it shows all the X-Men sitting in a row, and Morph is at the end.
I didn't.
But I guess he didn't want to get involved with all the with the fighting. He's like, all right, I'm out. That's enough. Good wedding, guys. See you later. He didn't want to partake in the anything, but it was cool. They added him as showing him at the wedding.
All right, Dave, you have an X point for us?
You know I don't.
Okay, moving on. All right, my next X point.
We can probably give some to Dave.
They call it the axis of time in this episode, but where they really are is limbo. When you're outside time in the Marvel universe, you're in limbo. So yeah,
back to me.
Limbo.
The license plate on. Do you guys notice the license plate on Scott's car?
It said fresh and it had a dice in the mirror.
It said Slim.
Oh, it's awesome. Has he ever been called Slim in the show?
No.
I feel like Wolverine might have called him it once, like in a derogatory sense, but I don't believe. I think early on he says he calls him Slim once.
Slim Summers. Yeah, man. When the X-Men eventually make a comeback in the MCU, they better go that route with that. Somebody better call him Slim. All right, next to me. Well, this is a lead into our next week's interview with Lawrence Bain. Lawrence Bain, who's the voice of Cable in this episode, was almost the voice of Wolverine. I don't know if we've mentioned that on the show before. We may have, but it was down to Cal Dodd and Lawrence Bain. They went with Cal Dodd.
Is he always the voice of Cable?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you said this episode, so I was like, oh, is Cable's voice different?
I was just tying my point into this episode, so it didn't seem too tangential. But yeah.
Slight factual error in this episode. The leader of the group that goes after Apocalypse states that the world has been put up with Apocalypse evil for 5,000 years. Seconds later, Cable states that Apocalypse has been wreaking havoc for 400 centuries, which would actually be 50,000 years. It should be much longer. And also, they also say that the date with 3,999 AD, Cable states that he's been terrorizing for 5,000 years, dating him to 1,000 BC, which isn't possible because Apocalypse comes from ancient Egypt, which is 3,000 BC. Mm-hmm. So, few little factual errors there.
Well, the joys of marriage are the heaven on earth, life's paradise, great princess, the soul's quiet, sinews of concord, earthly immortality, eternity of pleasures.
John Ford. Type of fucking
John Ford. I said it the whole thing. He drops a couple lines out of it, so that's the full quote.
The ones that are about fucking.
Yeah, the dirtier one.
No, he doesn't. He drops great princess out of it.
No. Well, also Beast also quotes Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado in here as well. There's some other line he quotes at some point in the episode, which is from that. And I only kind of know that because I was mildly interested in that play because there's a really cool movie called Topsy Turvy about the making of that play, which is very good that I watched a while ago. Where John Bend, what's his name? The guy that played in Harry Potter. He's one of the professors. I think he's the potions guy. Not the potions guy. Slughorn. Jim Bent is his name. He's an English actor. He shows up in a lot of stuff, but he was in it. He plays Sullivan of Gilbert and Sullivan, or the other one. My X point, is this the fourth one?
Yeah.
This is the first episode of season 4 to feature speaking appearances for every member of the X-Men. Similarly, none of the X-Men wear their usual costumes in this episode. So this is the first episode in all of season 4 that all of the X-Men are together.
Funny that you say that all the X-Men get lines. But you know who's the leader of the X-Men in this episode?
Storm.
When it all goes down, Storm starts barking out orders, and Cyclops standing right there with his mouth shut. Yeah, I was like, yeah. And we took them 4 seasons, but Storm.
Well, he was already off the clock
now.
he's off the clock. He's on his honeymoon.
I'm in a tuxedo.
Yeah, what do you want me to do, woman?
Lead the X-Men in a tuxedo.
God dang.
I also say a little extra add-on. Apocalypse and Sinister do have history because Sinister got his powers from Apocalypse.
Is that reference in the show?
It might not even have been established in the comics yet. Because, Sinister, Apocalypse, and Wolverine are the 3 characters whose animated series histories and comic histories just mush together in my brain. I always think oh no, that happened, but no, that didn't happen. It happened in the animated show. But they dropped that Sinister is immune to Cyclops' powers. Not immune, is uniquely vulnerable to his powers because Chris Claremont's inception of Mr. Sinister was he was going to be some sort of psychic projection from Scott's childhood bully or some shit, a kid's inception of what evil is, and all tied into It was after Claremont left the books and after the show introduced Mr. Sinister that they decided he'd be a dark reflection of Charles Darwin or something. So I'm not sure what was established about Sinister at this point.
It's funny how that works. Like I often when I'm talking to people about the Batman series and about how cool Mr. Freeze was as a villain, and I was like, before that show, he was like, he didn't have a backstory. He was just like a guy with a freeze gun that didn't really have this sad tragic story. And it's amazing how much these series have influenced things like that, and how it gets mismatched in your head remembering all that. But Wolverine's origin is fairly similar to the main one, isn't it? Short of
Well, I mean, the first episode recently that I wasn't able to show up for, that I was supposed to show up for,
it's
was Weapon X Lives and videotape.
Yes.
So much of that, my brain thinks belongs in the comics when it doesn't.
I think it's so funny they took the title of like a very adult movie from that time period and did a parody of it. Like, some kid in a grocery store is like, "Hey, this sounds like the." I'm sure that's never happened, but that movie is definitely
show's full of that though. Like even the Wild Man of Borneo reference that I had to ask Eric.
I love how we
about.
still.
He's like, yeah, that's just what old people say.
Old people when we were young people said. So now dead people.
Yeah. So what is the Wild Man of Borneo?
It's just something you'd say, like if someone was just kind of acting sort of nuts, you'd be like, "Hey, look at the Wild Man of Borneo over there."
So it's like vaguely racist. It's not from a movie.
Yeah,
right?
I guess.
No, I think it was the name of a movie. He said
it was, but that's not where that comes from.
It was a 1941 comedy, The Wild Man of Borneo,
Frank Morgan.
1941 American comedy, directed by Robert Sinclair. So there you go.
Your final export.
My final X point was, what was this right here? Professor X mentions that Scott and Jean were his first students in this episode, which I think was interesting because every time you see, any flashbacks to the early days of the X-Men, they're always kind of front and center.
That's proper to comics as well. Jean's his first student.
Yeah, I guess that's technically true.
Yeah.
Because she was never in the mansion. She was like a side project, basically. And she was like the fifth X-Man, but his first student. So, yeah, I was going to say that's not the way it is in the comics, but you're right. It technically is.
It's X-Man for sure.
Yeah, that's some good. I'm just looking at some of the Apocalypse quotes from this episode. Am I doomed to struggle with such filth until the end of time?
Yeah, it's so introspective. But you know what? That's the way they write him now. And I like Apocalypse.
Evil, I'm not malevolent. I simply am, which soon will be more than I can say for you. So good.
It is so good.
Hey, check this out.
Check this out. This is our comic reminiscences and recommendations segment. Dave, you got any comic recommendations for us?
Dave's coming.
Part of the show. I wish I had something
great. A lot of segments.
An Apocalypse-y to mention, but I don't know.
Read the entire Age of Apocalypse series from start to finish.
Read X of Swords. That's what you should do.
I did read
that.
It's on X-Men. It's on Unlimited.
I love X of Swords.
There's really, a lot of Apocalypse in that, and a lot of stuff that I like, because I haven't been reading like mainstream X-Men comics for a very long time. I'm a little at sea with some of it, but like it's weird having Apocalypse just be a main character that's just like hanging out with everybody else now.
I'm not sure that the explanation of like why he was the way he was for so long really jives with continuity, but I still like it as like a treatment for Apocalypse.
Now he's the weak one, and his wife's like, you're kind of weak, and I'm gonna have to handle this. So
well, he was really like
fittest, right?
He was really despicably evil in past stories. And like you look at Age of Apocalypse, and like when Apocalypse takes over, he has no interest in running anything efficiently. Like all of North America is just a fucking toilet. For some reason, like Apocalypse just wants to live in a toilet, I guess. I don't fucking know. I got no interest in infrastructure.
It's part of my grand design that I don't have to do any work over here. It's like I saw this meme the other day that was like it's no mow May, so I'm not mowing my lawn for the bees, and then it was like point to a pile of dirty dishes in the sink. This is also for the pollinators, and it's like trip over a pile of laundry that you didn't put away. This too for the pollinators. It's all part of my grand scheme.
No mow ever. Lawns are stupid.
So is your front lawn just a big hayfield, Davan?
No, it's vegetable gardens and perennials.
Oh wow,
it's gorgeous.
Good idea.
Yeah, I walk the walk, my friend.
I know.
All right. So, what are we doing here? Oh, we're checking this out.
You're the one running.
Oh yeah, you know what? Well, you know what? I liked X of Swords a lot. It just took me once I got over the bait and switch because it's a huge bait and switch, and it was just like, oh, Mortal Kombat for X-Men. I'm down with this.
Yeah,
And then
that
you
was
get a couple issues
strange.
in, and you realize it's all bullshit because she's just rigging them all, and it's like there's no Mortal Kombat really at all. And you're like, okay, well, I guess it's.
I had
this
never
now.
read.
but
I'd never read Excalibur, so
Oh.
all that stuff with Saturnine and shit. Like I thought she was Emma Frost for like the first like 10 pages.
So did I. So did I. I was sure it was Emma Frost.
So yeah, it's a big like blind spots in my X-Men history were filled by that story.
Oh, there's some good old Excalibur stuff.
Right on.
Yeah,
So,
the
Dave,
first
what do you
like
got,
20 issues are like that cross-time caper. Maybe it's like 12 of them. It's a pretty fun little story. It's probably like Doctor Who-ish, the way people explain Doctor Who, I suppose. Well, for me, I figured we're getting timey-wimey here. So
You know,
I was
Doctor
thinking,
Who reference?
what's a good timey-wimey? Well, we got Bishop, we got Cable, we got $39.99. I'm like, what's a good X-Men
Totally a
timey-wimey story?
good price.
And you know what surprised me like about 10 years ago as being better than I thought it was going to be? Battle of the Atom.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Brian Michael Bendis wrote it. Great art, of course, by Stuart Emanen. Always great art. He signed these, actually. These are signed by Stuart Emanen.
Oh, that's
awesome.
very
cool,
nice.
Cool dude. Cool dude. So is his wife, actually. Catherine. But yeah, so check it out. It's when Beast went back in time and brought the young X-Men back into the future to teach Cyclops a lesson. That whole thing was dumb. That I like those books, but like Beast's reasoning was really stupid. But it led to some good stories, including this one. And this story
Cyclops
kicks
was
off.
right.
Yeah, Cyclops was right.
He saved the whole
this is
human race.
Yeah. Cyclops is right. He was right. So this is where they're arguing about sending them back. They want to send those X-Men back. The X-Men refuse, the young X-Men, to go back into the past because they know too much about the future now. So they're like, whatever. And then
how did all that get wrapped up? Did they just wipe their minds and send them back?
Yeah.
They agree to go back except for Angel, I think.
How do they keep? How does the timeline get restored? If Angel just is out of time,
no, he does go back eventually. It's another timey-wimey story. Extermination by Ed Brisson, and I want to say Pepe Larraz drew it. Okay. It's fucking phenomenal. It's like Bendis left the series with a million plot threads dangling, and it was Ed Brisson's responsibility to clean it all up before House of X and Powers of 10 came out. So that's the series that sends them back, and they all have like a block put in their minds, so they won't remember any of it until their future selves, that moment when they disappear in the portal, suddenly all those memories unlock. So you got some really nice moments, like Cyclops actually gets the childhood he never got to have because young Cyclops was on the Champions with Miss Marvel and all them, and so he actually had like a group of friends where he was just a guy and he played video games. So he got all those memories all of a sudden when they went back through the portal.
No, that's cool.
That's nice. But yeah, so in this one, they got another portal, and a bunch of X-Men from the future pop out. Is it these guys? There might be some of them, but anyway. Oh, there they are.
Deadpool.
Yeah, see, one of them looks like Deadpool and stuff. Yeah, there's Deadpool there, and they're like, you have to send those X-Men back to the past now, and they're all like, no, we still don't want to go, and then that kicks off the Battle of the Atom. It's fun. I remember it being fun. It's been 10 years since I've read it, so I can't get into too much detail, but I remember it being a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. There's this like big dumb Iceman he's like monosyllabic, but
Ice Golem. Cool. Isn't that Ice Golem? Yeah, and there's also Ice Wizard. There's like Iceman separated into two guys. Because like
Yeah.
the first Future X-Men come back and they're like, we're the Future X-Men, you fucked everything up. And then another Future X-Men come back and they're like, those aren't the Future X-Men, we're the Future X-Men.
Yeah. One of them's Zorn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One's
there's
Molly.
Ice Wizards.
One's
There's
Molly
Ice Wizards.
from Runaways.
Yeah, Molly's there, yeah.
Quentin Quire is one. Wolverine and Mystique's son? Rays?
Something like that.
Wolverine and Mystique have a son from the future?
Well,
in this
they never had him in the
future.
present. But
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
What about you, Andre? What are you checking out? What are they checking out?
So I had Mark Russell on my show last week, which was awesome. Big fan of all of his work, and obviously doing so, I did a deep dive of a bunch of his work again. I suggested Superman Space Age last week, and because I spoke with him and I was in the middle of rereading it, I want to suggest the Flintstones, his series for DC. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest it. Dave, have you read any Mark Russell stuff?
I worked on a Mark Russell one-shot, a Black Bolt one-shot that he wrote, and I drew.
Oh, really? How was that to work with him? I would have brought up that we knew each other. I didn't know that.
He probably doesn't fucking remember. I mean, like Mark Russell, like even just last year was like almost nobody, but now because of Superman Space Age, he's got like so many different books. There's no way he remembers like the artist on that Black Bolt book. But
no, he might. He's very knowledgeable. He's a very intelligent guy. I mean, I fell in love with the Flintstones when it first came out. Like a friend of mine suggested to me, and I was floored with how good it was. And then that could have led me to Snagglepuss and Second Coming and all that stuff. But Superman Space Age is one of the more recent things I read of his, and I adored it.
I actually didn't know that he also wrote Snagglepuss. The Snagglepuss was drawn by Mike Freehan, who is the other Newfoundland comic book artist. He's currently on Star Trek at IDW.
So you guys are like competitors and rivals?
No, not at all. He's like the greatest guy. But yeah, that's funny that Mark Russell worked with both of us.
Yeah, he's collecting Newfoundland comic artists.
Yeah, well, he's got the set.
that's
that's not fair. I'm sure there's tons of people in Newfoundland doing comics.
Oh, perhaps so.
At Marvel and DC, he's got the set.
Yeah, no. So check it out. It does every it's a 12-issue run. They just recently put out there's a big omnibus set of the whole series, including the ridiculous Booster Gold crossover they did, and when they had a DC characters crossover with a bunch of Hanna-Barbera characters. But it's fantastic. It just picks apart all the ridiculous, stupid things we do in society and why they are that way, and does it with a delightful, but by showing its inception. It's kind of like showing humans build a civilization in bedrock, and it's full of really good, biting, satirical humor about modern day. One of my favorites is like there's this whole. Have you read Flintstones, Dave?
Yep. Well, the first like 3 or 4 issues.
So they like the where Bedrock was originally a colony of, they were called the Tree People, that Fred and Barney are veterans of the war that wiped them out. And their men's group they get together with is actually support group for people with like essentially PTSD from that time period. But they like the local sports arena has a sign that says like, Sports Rock, home of the Fighting Tree People. So like their mascots are, are the people, like just stuff like that is like one of the, and there's a great stuff about religion. Like in talking with Mark about it all kind of gives me a lot of insight when talking to him about it. See it like some of his reasoning for doing what he did it makes a lot of sense. Like it's basically a religious group that are like, almost spitballing marketing who the god is going to be. Like first they had a big bird, but it wasn't really tracking. People weren't liking the bird, so they tried to do an elephant, but the elephant was like a vacuum cleaner from a local store. And then they decided to go with an invisible god, which made more sense because then it could be whatever you want it to be. They called it Gerald, and then like throughout the series, people would say, "Oh my Gerald," or "Gerald be with us." So, like it just kind of changes. There's great stuff about, there's some stoicism, like the part with the animals that are appliances and what their lives are like.
It's a living.
They have a great one where like they get a new TV and they have like there's like a reporter guy on it or a newscaster, and he's like the newest trend sweeping the nation. Crap. just buying crap, stuff you don't need. That's like this is what people are doing now. And then like Fred goes and buys a bunch of stuff they think they need to keep up with everyone else and gets so bogged down and annoyed by it. He ends up returning it all, but they won't give him his money back, just credit. So he's like, what do you have that that doesn't do anything? What do you have? And they go, well, we got this, and it was Dino. And he says, what does it do? And they say nothing. And he goes, great, I'll take it. It's perfect. So just stuff like that. It's really, 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 really smart comic, and I love it. So it's one you may have slept on, because even I said to him, like, I don't want to insult you, I said, but that book was way better than it had any right to be. And he goes, everybody that reviewed it almost apologized in the first few minutes. So we're like, look, I'm sorry, but it's actually really good. And it was. It's well worth reading. Check it out.
Hey, check it out. Well, let's move along to Andre's next recommendation.
Oh, it's right back to me, is it?
Yes, it will be.
You don't like the movie? Change the channel.
Now, was that Bender or Mojo?
Bender.
That's what I thought so. That's Mojo.
That's Mojo.
All right, I was going to say that Bender quote. I'm pretty sure I heard today when I watched that episode. All right. Well, first, I'm just going to quickly recommend an album that I just picked up because I do love music. And Dave, you may know this band.
Getting in on my segment.
Oh, do you have a music
Sweet
segment?
Tunes. Not tonight, so go for it. Sweet Tunes for the X.
There's a band called Morphine. They were big in the 90s. Dave, are you a fan?
No, I don't know them.
Oh, really? So the lead singer died in the 90s. He had a heart attack on stage somewhere. But it's like a mixture of
morphine.
Yeah, I don't think it was drug related, but it's like alternative. It's like 90s alternative meets jazz. That's all I'm going to describe it as. This album is called Cure for Pain. It's probably the one that has most of their biggest hits on it. But it's fantastic. It's very, very good. Check it out. My movie recommendation, I tried to think of something that was timey-wimey related, obviously, about people lost in time.
Bandits.
Close, actually. Close. People lost in time trying to change a future, a horrifying future that they wish to escape in all rights. And I went with another Terry Gilliam movie about time travel, 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys.
Fantastic film. I mean, I like Terry Gilliam movies. The only one I've seen I didn't really care for was his newest one. But aside from that, I've liked everything else I've seen. And
even Brazil's
Brazil's
good movie.
Davan gets mad at me for using the term masterpiece too much, but that movie is a masterpiece. It is very, very good. You didn't like Brazil?
It's a tough slug.
What? Oh my god!
I think you probably have to be in the right.
You have no right to host a movie podcast, sir. No right.
Too many flashbacks.
Podcast.
What's a movie that's mostly like we should make him watch Jacob's Ladder and just sit there and see how his brain handles it.
It's all flashbacks. Yeah,
it's all dream sequences and flashbacks and
poor flashbacks.
Crazy logic. What's a movie that's all? Oh, what about Memento? That's all flashback. Did you like that movie?
It was okay, but I definitely was getting annoyed.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no. 12 Monkeys, fantastic movie. One of the Bruce Willis plays a criminal from the future after the world is dying because of a virus released from a group called the 12 Monkeys back in the 90s. They send him back in time to figure out where it started and to stop it. There's also, some confusion as to whether he's imagining all this and he's just a crazy person or if this is actually happening. He connects with a woman from that time period who eventually comes to believe him. And great early role from Brad Pitt and just a great time travel movie. Very similar to the one I suggested last time.
As well.
Yeah, I gave up on that after I think the second season. I don't know. I do like Tom Noonan, but I just couldn't get into it. It wasn't nearly as good as the movie.
No. Not likely. Written by Terry Matalas, who wrote a lot of the third season of Picard. Third season of Picard is better.
Dave, do you have a time travel movie you want to suggest?
No. I have to sit here and think and be like a bunch of dead air.
That's quite a garden you've got there.
It's quite a garden I got there. You know why? Because I don't have a stupid lawn. Lawns are stupid. Anyway. Last time on Going Gardening with Davan, we talked about timing your perennials so that there's always something blooming in your garden. But you know what? You can do the same thing with food crops. So, like, for example, my garden, the first thing that you can eat that pops out of the garden, other than, lettuces and stuff that I start in the greenhouse and cold weather crops that you can, grow inside or start in a greenhouse. But as far as out in your yard goes, you get your rhubarb first. Who doesn't like some rhubarb, some stewed rhubarb on toast? Or a rhubarb strawberry pie or something like that. Very delicious. You can eat rhubarb raw, sour and delicious. And then after that, you get your garlic scapes. Very important. You like garlic scapes there, David and Andre? Very
I
delicious.
don't know what they are.
Is it like normal garlic? Is that where garlic cloves come from?
No, the clove is like the root of the garlic.
Oh, okay.
In spring, you get the plant that comes up, kind of looks like onion leaves a little bit. And then there's like this curly stem that comes up, and it's really cool looking. It like curls around and has a bulb on the end. You can take that entire curly stem, chop it up, and it tastes exactly like garlic. It's delicious.
My brain just went and shove it up your ass.
And take that garlic scape and shove it up your. Yeah. And now the strawberries are blooming, which means the sea trout are running. So I'm going to have to go check about that as well. And, there's always going to be something in the garden. The sour cherries will be after that, and then the Haskap berries. You got to keep it. You stagger those crops. Eat throughout the seasons. Don't pay those crazy grocery store prices or mow a stupid lawn. Anyway, moving on to our everyone's favorite irregular segment.
Oh, I like Confessions of Cutler. That sounded better.
That's an option. Whenever you need us, the Confessions of Cutler is there.
Is this where we can grill Dave with like any of his deepest, darkest secrets?
But there's also Cut to the Chase,
which is what
it was supposed to be. That's where you can just talk about anything, any recommendation about anything you like.
I don't know, man. I really like Letterboxd.
There you go.
Yeah, Letterboxd is like the movie watching.
Yeah, I got to use that
social network.
Yeah.
So I've been like in between drawing. I've been like wasting like so much time. Just like I think of a movie and then I put it in so that I have this like master list of every movie I've ever seen.
I got to start doing that. Or just like I watched one last night that I actually absolutely loved. So maybe I should start with that one and just keep going from there.
Today I watched Heavyweights, the Disney movie from '95 about the fat camp.
How did that go?
It was actually pretty good. Not great. I give it like a 3.5 out of 5. But
good. It's fun watching
Ben Stiller's in it, and he's like a proto White Goodman from
oh really?
Dodgeball. Like it's the same basic character. Like he's this like he's running the fat camp and he hates all the fat kids and blah blah blah. And he's got like the 90s energy version of the 2000s energy he had in Dodgeball. And it was co-written by Judd Apatow. I was like shocked when I saw that in the end.
Oh, that's funny.
Paul Feig plays a character. It's got it all.
There was this like I had Jeff Blythe on my show before. He was like a director. He directed a Disney movie in the 90s that I watched in preparation to talk to him called "Is it Cheetah?" And so it's like a white family has work to do in Africa, and they befriend a cheetah that they raise and have to release back to the wild, but some poacher wants it and blah blah blah. But it's funny watching these sort of 90s Disney classic things that were like sort of lost to the sands of time. The one I reference all the time is the Darby O'Gill and the Little People. The one
that's I've never seen it, but that's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is. I want to go back. I wanted to watch it on St. Patrick's Day because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. And
Sean Connery.
Yeah, it's one of his first roles.
I think it might have been his first role.
It was very early.
All right. Well, let's play a little game, fellas, because I think this is going to be more fun with two people instead of just Andre. This time it's going to be a contest. I'll even keep score. We're
I
going to
don't know
guess
what's
the
happening.
statistics. You will, my friend. All right, so we're going to guess the statistics. What I have here is Marvel Comics cards, the set circa 1992.
Okay.
Remember
You have
this
to guess
set?
the statistics when he gives you the character.
No, it's 92 would be like just before my card collecting time. But
Oh man,
you,
this is my favorite
dropped in
set
on Marvel
ever. This is-
Masterpieces 93, did you, Dave?
no, 94 was Fleer. The Fleer 94 set was my first one. And the
That's
one
what I
that I was
got
like
out.
really into was Onslaught.
Oh right, I forgot about those cards.
I was like crazy for those, but
I have a great-
I was also crazy for the Onslaught storyline. So
I have a great book of it's all the Marvel Joe Dusko's Marvel Masterpieces from 95.
Yeah, they're great.
I don't know what it was, but I have there was a Kickstarter a long while ago for I don't know if I can reach you the cord in this thing.
So when we guess the statistics, oh wait, here comes Andre.
Sorry, yeah, it's the ones from.
Oh yeah, the book.
Actually, this is 2016 Marvel Masterpieces trading set, but they are putting out a run of his 93 one, the 93 Marvel Masterpiece set. It was a Kickstarter that has all of the art, the full page art from that.
Oops.
Pretty fucking beautiful, man. This guy makes beautiful stuff. Look at this Gore the God Butcher. Look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Gore's fun.
Looks just like Christian Bale.
yeah,
Sure does.
my favorite MCU movie.
I'm sure you
Mine
loved
too.
Oh, I gave it a half a star.
That's really low.
I fucking hate that movie. Which is it
I'm gonna
feels
give it
so
a
weird
4.
to hate a Taika Waititi.
I agree. I don't
That
hate
much.
it, but it's tonally all over the place. And
I
took-
could not say one nice thing about it. I couldn't.
I thought the scene when he was talking to the kids when he was like super creepy was pretty cool.
Maybe in a
There were
different
some
movie.
okay scenes.
That's what I
in a
mean. It's
different
tonally,
movie.
it's all over the place. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna guess the statistics.
Let's do it.
These go from 1 to 7, and you guys will guess, and you're competing for glory for your houses. All right. So the first one we're gonna do, because it's from this episode, we have Cable. So Cable, what is Andre? You can go first. What is his strength from 1 to 7?
Forgot the
2.
scale was to 7. That is bizarre.
I know it's very bizarre.
It
2.
is.
Okay.
Incorrect.
No.
Abe, your
What is it?
chance to steal.
Oh.
3.
It is. All right. So
He's just
next
a dude,
one.
though.
He's strong dude with a metal arm.
Yeah, but fine. Metal arm. I forgot about the metal arm.
He's super jacked, like James Brolin.
But like 7's the benchmark. So 7's like the Hulk. So he's
Yeah,
like,
7's the Hulk.
like he's
Pretty
a
strong.
little less than half as strong as the Hulk, which seems insane.
Yeah,
to
but
me.
like 1 is like a weakling, 2 is like a fit person. He's stronger than a fit person.
Okay.
So
So
I was right.
intelligence.
It's 3.
Yes, you're right.
You are correct. Yes. Now back to you, Dave, for his intelligence. 1 to 7.
2.
No, Andre.
3.
Chance to steal. No. 4.
What?
Yeah, he's just.
They're just
guy,
making
I
this
guess.
shit up.
With
Yeah,
all
I
that
know.
future knowledge that he has, I guess.
All that future
guess.
knowledge. All right.
I mean, if it keeps going, every generation's smarter than the generation before it, pretty much. My daughter's
I
smarter than me
disagree,
already.
sir. Have you seen the modern state
Yeah.
of affairs in
Yeah,
today's world?
well,
Oh, they don't know anything, but like, apparently, like they're more capable. There's more. Every
I
generation is
disagree.
more capable than the one before, as far as like certain like benchmark or factors. But anyway,
Madness.
energy projection. I mean, I don't agree with it either, but apparently it's true.
Madness.
Yes.
Blaspheme.
All right, back to you, Andre, for energy projection from Cable.
1.
Yes. Tie it up. Ties of the game.
He doesn't shoot
All
any
right.
beams. He shoots a gun.
Back to Dave for mental powers.
6.
He doesn't have psychic powers, does he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
He does.
He's one of the most powerful psychics in the Marvel universe, really.
Yeah,
but it's all tied up in controlling his
worst.
techno-organic virus. At the end
This
of
is the worst.
what? I think X-Men Red Volume 2. Man, you got to read X-Men Red. Fucking shit. He like turns the virus into like a symbiote, and there's this other one, and he joins up with it and makes this big like fucking virus hologram mech suit. It's the best.
Yeah, cool. I didn't realize that. I
I
guess
take it
never
6
really
wasn't
knew
the number, but
I guess I never really knew what his powers were. But
He has telekinetic powers, yeah, and he can read your mind, but yeah. So, but no. You're right, they are just making this shit up as they go, Dave. Take a shot at this, Andre. This one's crazy.
2?
Yes.
No.
What?
I'm assuming it was bad.
Yeah, I know. It's
see, no, but see,
insane.
from 92, it might that stuff
they
may
may
not
not
be
establish
established yet.
Well, even on this card, they say he's a telekinetic.
Do they list his name as like Nathan Summers?
No, unrevealed.
See, yeah, it's before all
Yeah.
that. See,
Yeah.
fuck.
That's a tough one.
So
All
he's
right,
just a guy
fighting,
with a gun.
Yeah, fighting ability, Dave.
5.
Andre.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 5. Well, do I have to pick? I would guess 5. Is
He already
is
guessed
he
it
wrong?
and it was wrong.
Oh,
Yeah,
you didn't say he was wrong. You just asked me.
If I go to you, he's wrong.
4.
Or else I would have gave him the point. 7.
Wow.
Apparently, he's the best.
He's the number one
he's
fighter.
the best fighter. Apparently.
He's better than Taskmaster, who knows everybody's power, everybody's fighting moves.
Taskmaster's only good because he copied Cable.
Good point.
So, all right, speed, Dave.
2. It's got to be 2.
It's 2.
Yeah.
All right, and you guys are also tied at 2. So let's do one more of these to tie the score here. Who else do we got? We got Colossus. We got Deathlock, Blaze. Tell me when to stop. Multiple Man, Shatterstar. We got Professor
Deathlock
X.
sounds fun.
We got Deathlock. Okay. 90s is all hell. That's cool. All right, we have Deathlock. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a Deathlock. Okay. Real name Michael Collins. So
I preferred his appearance in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Strength, Deathlock.
That's J. Michael Richards. What's the first one? Strength?
Strength of Deathlock.
It's got to be 4.
It's not.
Strength of Deathlock?
Yes.
3?
6.
Wow. I guess he got those
He's
servos
almost the Hulk.
Apparently, he's one step down from the Hulk.
Yeah, these ratings are nuts. These ratings are nuts.
He can go. I'm assuming the Thing must be a 6, right? Because he's not as strong as the Hulk.
I can look.
So he's as strong as the Thing.
You pick somebody strong here. Here's the Thing right here. 6. Yep. Apparently he's as strong as the Thing.
That's not track.
Yeah, I don't know with that. I don't know. I haven't read too much Deathlock, mind you.
Basically, like I've read Maximum Carnage and Wolverine and the X-Men, and that's it. Oh, and also
he's in Uncanny X-Force.
Uncanny X-Force. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's everything.
I think that's a different Deathlock.
Oh yeah, that might be the same Deathlock that's in Wolverine and the X-Men, the one that wears the gray.
Yeah, the gray. Actually, no, I think this Deathlock actually shows up in that. Anyway, intelligence, Andre.
But he's got a computer brain, right?
More or less.
6.
No.
4.
Dave takes the lead.
He's got a computer brain.
Not a great one. 90s computer. This is like Windows 94.
It's running on Windows 94. It's got Vista on this. God damn it.
Not even as good as Vista. He's searching with Alta Vista. It's just like, what is this enemy? A bad guy.
Alta Vista. I think Alta Vista was my first email client because they'd let you pick your. So I was at cyberdude.com.
You were Cyberdude.
You were Cyberdude.
Oh, no, I was Fresh Lemons at cyberdude.com.
I remember that email address. I remember Fresh Lemons. That's funny.
All right. Energy projection. Dave.
0. 1. No?
Andre. No.
2.
Andre. 2. Tyson.
What energy does he project?
That's good. Guns?
That doesn't. Oh my god.
The good people at the 1992 Marvel card collection are going to get a frosty letter from David Cutler.
They certainly are.
Dear
They
asshole.
say he has cybernetic powers.
Well, for Cable is fine because like nothing was established about Cable in 92. But isn't Deathlock from like the late 70s? Like he was pretty well.
No, his first appearance is 1990.
For real?
Yeah. Deathlock Limited Series #1. I used to have that issue.
I have a trade of it, I think.
Oh no. The original Deathlock is Manning, apparently.
Okay.
And he first appeared in 1974. I knew I saw like an old cover with him on it.
Interesting. All right. Wow. Mental powers, Dave.
1.
Andre.
What?
2.
Andre takes 3. Dave's getting angrier by the minute here with these ratings. Fighting ability, Dave.
Oh, he's got to be like a 6.
6 it is. Ties it up. All right, last one. Speed, Andre.
2.
No.
He's got robot legs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be 4.
No, he's up 3.
Dang.
Split the diff.
Dang. Yeah, you guys tied up 4 now. My God. This game shall never end.
Okay.
We'll go one. We got Warpath. We got Polaris. We got Long Shot. Night Thrasher. We got
not Warpath.
Nova.
His brother, the Dave brought back. What is that card in there?
No,
he's.
I guess
dead.
he would have been long gone before then. Yeah.
Yeah, super dead. We could do Warpath though.
Let's do Warpath. Yeah.
Sure.
Warpath. See if we can untie this. All right, Dave. Strength of Warpath.
I'm gonna say that he is a 6.
He is a 6. People sleep on how strong Warpath and Thunderbird are.
I don't think he's actually a 6, but I think I've cracked the code of these bullshit cards.
You think you cracked the code? He's upper echelon strength. He must be a 6.
He's up there with. Was it Deathlock and the Thing?
Yeah.
He might be up there with the Thing. Really, I don't know.
He's pretty strong. Intelligence, Andre.
3.
No.
Dave 2.
2.
I was gonna go with 2 and I didn't.
2-point lead for Dave.
Oh.
Energy projection, Andre.
I don't even know what his powers are. 1. I don't think he shoots energy, right? So 1.
1.
Yeah. What are his powers?
Super strength and mild speed and agility.
Okay. So he's just generic.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Mental powers, Dave.
1.
Andre, you need both of these to tie. Fighting ability, Andre.
Probably pretty good. 4.
4. Wow. Dave has the chance to cinch it here, though. Speed.
Fighting ability.
No, he already
No,
got
I was
that
right.
one.
He's
Andre
gave you
got it.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Speed.
5.
No.
Right. No.
4.
2. I think that's too slow for Warpath.
Yeah, that's way too slow.
Yeah, but Dave wins by 1 point. Good match,
Congratulations,
good
Dave.
match, fellas. Yep, you
Well
win.
designed. Your check's in the mail.
A set of Andre stickers. He'll send them to you, not me.
Oh yeah, I gotta send those to you. I will not send those to him. No more freebies. I don't get so many stickers to go around here. You want an little effigy Andre on your vehicle? You got to pay for that.
Who doesn't want one of those?
All I need now is for you to contact your students, Professor.
Every time I see one of those Garfields, I'm like, it's just like Andre.
I wish I got the Garfield merch money.
Shit.
All right, so your homework is to watch Dave. I assume you're going to be with us for this entire 4-part series, so we'll join us with Dave again. Actually, next week we're talking to Lawrence Bain, and after that we'll be watching episode 19 of season 4 of X-Men: The Animated Show, Beyond Good and Evil Part 2. Apocalypse kidnaps Psylocke, Jean Grey, and Professor X. Based on that, I'm assuming he's collecting psychics. We will see.
It's kind of funny that he doesn't know how time travel works because he could just kidnap like 9 different Professor X's.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just keep going back in the timeline, kidnap the oldest one, and then go back by like a few days.
Oh, you know what we should do though?
Hey, look who I found coming to join the party.
Glad y'all decided to join
Oh
the
man.
party.
So I'm looking at the little screens for, the little thumbnails they give you for each episode of Disney Plus X-Men. The last one is literally Magneto and Mystique in the little window. So
well, there you have it.
He's definitely here.
You were right, Daniel. You were right.
I'm guessing that quote I read about it was probably before they fixed the numbering and put it in the right order.
The reason we're partying like it's apostrophe 97 is it's the birthday of Cal Dodd Wolverine today. So let's wish Cal Dodd happy birthday. Happy birthday, Cal.
Happy birthday, Cal Dodd.
Have a good one, bub. Yeah, that's it. All right, you can support the show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show. You can contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and the Twitches. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. Please like, review, subscribe. And we are a proud member of these United Federations of Podcasts. Quick rundown on that federation. We have, well, of course we have going on
Mark 99th episode with Mark Russell dropped last Friday. God damn it, Cat.
Friday.
She's sleeping by
Jerry Lewis impression.
He's sleeping by my foot, and he just every once in a while take a bite out of it. Yeah. So next episode is the 100th episode. We're trying to do something different and special. We decided to do a 16-hour episode with David Cutler. So David will talk for 16 hours.
That's awesome.
But
can't wait.
Single facet of his entire life, starting from birth, his first memories, all the way up until what we could only guess would be his final memories. So we will surmise. We're going to talk about Dave's entire life from start to finish, guessing how the reference going to go from here until his eventual end.
Andre was thinking 15 hours. I said 15 hours is not nearly enough with David Cutler.
Oh, boy.
No, it's true. And to make it 16. We're gonna do. We thought it'd be fun to do one where Davan interviews me. So it's gonna be episode 100 featuring Andre.
That's cute. I like that.
So we thought, it seems a little like self-grandizing, but I'm hoping it's just going to be a fun
it's
way
not
for
going to
people.
be.
All right.
It's a real hit piece.
Devin's got all these fucking files and folders, and like one time you texted this phrase to your friend 25 years ago.
What's that rattling I hear behind you? Is it skeletons in your closet?
Oh no, he's got a folder. No. I spoke to your high school girlfriend.
We also have Hold Up a Movie podcast. We recently released one on what were those movies about? Airplanes. And the next one
you're
will
not
be
very
on...
kind to old Miyazaki or animes in general there, Davan.
Not yet. I'm waiting to be won over. Now, funny you mentioned that. Our next episode is on animes. So I have to watch 3 anime. And one of them is the one everyone tells me if I'm going to like any anime, it's going to be that
Princess
one.
Mononoke?
So I guess we'll find out.
So what's the other ones?
Toro.
So are they all Miyazaki movies?
I don't know. Is that one? That Totoro one?
I'm not a huge fan of that one. Although, it's
the other
beautiful.
one,
I like to look at it.
The other one's called Red Line. Something Murphy picked. He thinks I'll hate it, so he picked it. It's just like off the
Why
walls.
don't you do
like,
Akira?
Because I've seen Akira and I didn't like it.
Wow. You're a strange man.
Yeah, animes don't really jump for me.
I mean, I don't know if you should have done 2 Miyazaki. You should have done Princess Mononoke, sure, but
different
I feel like
picks.
Yeah, fair enough. But Akira,
my cousin Eamon picked Totoro, and I picked Mononoke because everyone says I should watch it.
Actually, I like Totoro. I watched it actually recently, only like a year or 2 ago, and I remember my wife was asleep on the couch, and I just put it on, and I was watching it, and she woke up midway through it and just kind of dreamily watched it with me for a bit, and then fell asleep again, and kind of recounted that she really enjoyed the little bit she'd seen. Almost like she felt like she dreamed part of it because it was like midway through sleep. So,
have you seen Nausicaa or Kiki's Delivery Service?
No, I've only
The Cat
seen
Returns?
like 5 animes.
The Cat Returns is nice.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
And I don't even know if I saw all of Akira, but I started watching it.
It reminds me of a quote that I quote all the time, but you'd have to change it. It's from the IT Crowd, where Roy says, "I hate people," and then Jen goes, "That's not fair, Roy. Have you met all of them?" And he goes, "I've met enough of them. People, what a bunch of bastards."
What a bunch of bastards.
It's just Davan with animes. I hate anime. Have you watched all of them? I've seen enough of them. 3.
I keep in an open
mind.
What
a bunch of bastards.
They're also friggin' anime.
Well, you hated what was the Tokyo Godfathers, right?
I didn't hate that movie actually. I just didn't like that they used like the baby as a plot device. They're just like throwing babies through windows.
You better not watch. You better not watch the 1990s classic Baby's Day Out. You're gonna be so mad.
I've seen that movie like 15 times.
How have you seen that movie that many times?
Because we used to rent it all the time at Pioneer Video in Antigonish.
Why that one?
Because it was so bad. That
darn movie they had.
I don't know. I don't know. It's really bad.
This is when you were in. This is when you were in university. This is like
that one and That Darn Cat. We would rent all the time.
Oh, you should have got Dunstan Checks In. That would have been a good one too.
Oh yeah, the one with the monkey.
What's your favorite movie, Dav? Out of curiosity, so I can get like a feel.
Well,
for what you do.
my special pick is Medicine Man, just because it affected the course of my life somewhat.
No, I've never seen it. I don't even know it offhand.
No one's seen it. It's a Sean Connery movie with Lorraine Bracco. We covered it on my podcast. Murphy hated it.
Actually, my wife really likes that movie. I gotta watch it sometimes.
What is my favorite movie?
Mine until recently was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think it's Everything Everywhere All at Once now. I really love that movie.
I haven't seen that yet. I will.
It's on my list. I keep meaning to watch it.
It's amazing.
I need time when I can sit down and really look at the screen. Because all this week I've been watching movies that you don't need to.
Just to fill in your letterbox.
Yeah, pretty much, basically.
Oh God, I always ask people what their favorite movie is, and if I haven't seen it, I'll go watch it. And then I've seen some great movies. I've seen some ones I really hated. It brought me The Princess Bride, which I'd never seen growing up, and I adored. It also brought me to The Goonies, which I never saw growing up and hated as an adult.
I've still never seen Goonies.
I've never seen Goonies either.
It's not good. It's if everybody likes it because they saw it when it was a kid. If you watch it now, you're not going to like it. I don't think anyway. I'd much rather watch
Little Monsters with Howie Mandel.
I've never seen it.
No, it's
and Fred Savage.
Not my favorite movie, but you should watch it. It's fun. I don't know what my favorite movie is really. God,
you like old
I really
movies?
love
You're always
yeah. I really love Dr. Strangelove.
I used to say mine's The Graduate, but that was just to sound cool.
Oh, my favorite movie might be The Godfather, honestly. The best movie experience I ever had was watching The Godfather in a theater, drinking a quart of whiskey.
Something you could discover by looking at my Dropbox. Not Dropbox, at my Letterboxd.
Can I have access to your Dropbox?
Is I've never seen The Godfather.
Neither have I, actually.
Oh my God. You can call yourself a movie fan, Andre.
It's one of those things I keep putting off. I keep and be like, someday I'm going to find the perfect time to watch this.
It insists upon itself.
But it doesn't feel that long. You get so sucked into it, and I shouldn't care. Like, I'm not big into mobster movies or that kind of stuff. I like them, but
it's one of those things where like I've seen so many mafia movies that like I don't know. Like I've seen all the movies that copied Godfather, so I'm like, well, I really appreciate it.
But it's better. It's so much better. Like it just this is my favorite scene in any movie.
I like Goodfellas. That was good.
They're at the wedding, like the mobster wedding, and like the press is there, like the paparazzi, and they're snapping photos. And one of the mobster guys just walks up to him and takes his camera and throws it on the ground and like kicks the shit out of the camera, and just like turns around to walk away angrily, and he's just like turns back to the reporter guy, just like throws some like $100 bills at him for his camera and storms away. I love that scene. Anyway, it's great. Check it out.
So what's David? What is your favorite movie now that you're non trying to sound like an intellect?
It's either No Country for Old Men or
Ghostbusters. That is actually my favorite of all time.
Or Ghostbusters. I don't know.
Those are two wildly. It's funny because my answers are Who Framed Roger Rabbit and No Country for Old Men. So we're in the same. One's like a nostalgia pick, and one's like a as a movie. It's like pure cinema. Like that's the choice. It's funny because me and a friend his favorite movie is There Will Be Blood, and they came out the same year. So he used to always argue over whose choice was better. But mine won the Oscar, so that's why I have that over his head.
I missed all that. I was disconnected for after I said Ghostbusters.
Oh, I said my favorite movies I usually say are Who Framed Roger Rabbit and No Country for Old Men. One is for nostalgia and because I think it's a great movie for a lot of reasons. The other is for pure cinema, like as a movie. And me and a friend always argue because his favorite movie is There Will Be Blood, and they came out the same year.
Oh,
so, yeah. But mine won the Oscar, so I have that over his head.
It's a good movie too, though.
It is a very good movie.
And I also really like Little Shop of Horrors and Spider-Man 2.
Gotta watch Little Shop of Horrors. I've never seen it.
Oh my God! I could almost recite it for you, start to finish, right now.
I've heard the original ending is much better, so I'd rather watch it with that.
Yeah, I have the DVD that has the original ending. But
DVD, we don't operate in those. We are only Blu-ray people over here, Dave.
I don't think they released the. Maybe they did since, but I believe the Blu-ray version is just the theatrical ending.
Oh, really?
I also really love the original Night of the Living Dead.
That's a great movie. The original Dawn of the Dead is superior, though.
It is, yeah. Well, I don't know. I used to think that too, but I don't know if I think that anymore. This is the way all those Super Mater Brothers podcasts. They review movies and shows sometimes. We review movies over there at the Mary Mater Marvel Society. That's for sure. We just did Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I cried. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Too many flashbacks to get a 10.
Oh my
the
God.
Flashbacks were the best part.
Oh my God.
I know.
You can't be serious.
They still took me out of the narrative.
So how can you enjoy any movie with a character that's has a mysterious past? Because they can never reveal it. Because if they ever do, it have to be a flashback.
Can't they just talk about it?
No,
that's
it's
so
show don't
exciting.
tell. What are you talking about?
If somebody stands and goes, "Remember when you killed all those soldiers in that really cool firefight?" And you blew
I can forgive a couple
those kids, and he's like, "Yeah,"
but
it'd be so much better to see it.
No, a couple's fine, but by the time a third flashback comes on in a movie, I'm like, come on, I don't want another one. Just get to the movie.
Dude, I don't understand that.
You're crazy,
I was telling Andre, I think it was Andre, maybe it was Murphy on the show, but I would rather one long 8-minute flashback than them keep cutting 8 times back for a minute flashback. Like, give me the long flashback.
Your brain's broken,
Get
man.
it
I don't know.
over with.
There's something wrong.
You're
That's why I
definitely
have
unusual.
podcasts.
I don't understand it.
You're crazy, man. Crazy man.
We've got cut from the standard cloth. We also have trivial debates. I don't know what's the next on that one. I just competed on the last one. We also have Aiming on Track. It reviews albums. Next one is... What is the next one, Aiming? Can't remember. The Eminem Show, I think. I think he's reviewing that one with his mother. And the Hellbound Podcast, Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan, and our very, very many and numerous Star Trek podcasts. Check them all out because we love our Star Trek over here at the United Federation of Planets.
You mean podcasts?
What did I say?
United Federation of Planets?
Because we love Star Trek. So that's why I said that.
You're going to get sued if you don't watch yourself, buddy.
I know. United Federation. MZ just caught up. Great show. He went 9 out of 10. How about that?
That's a good one.
Man. Did I say my rating? Did I not? Yeah, I said I gave it an 8 like Andre.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Good.
I just threw that out there quick, I think.
Shit. There's a new generation. You know those epic collections of the Generation X books that Dave suggested that I got both of them? Yeah. There's a third one coming.
There is in June.
Secret of M.
I have pre-order and I have the 5th Uncanny X-Men Omnibus on pre-order.
Ooh, I'm gonna look at that ROM one. They're putting out the ROM Omnibus. So I'm probably have to get that.
Romnibus.
Space Knights.
Omnibus.
Back where he belongs.
See us here next week for our interview with actor Lawrence Bain. It's gonna be fun. The Wild Man of Borneo himself. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get out of here, fellas. It's been a long one. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anytime, buddy.
Anybody who can get me out of here will be my friend for life. Don't everybody volunteer at once.
Oh, there was a little harmonic in there.